even one game. One game. Banks broke into a big smile and chirped, "Let's play two." Ernie Banks died last night in Chicago at the age of 83. Here's Dean Reynolds.
News of the Chicago Cubs' most painful loss landed heavily at Wrigley Field, where number 14 is enshrined forever in the hearts and minds of fans and friends. Ernie Banks came to the Cubs in 1953, the first African-American on the team. And he lived to be, without question, the greatest ball player in the history of the club. 512 home runs in 19 seasons, twice voted the National League's most valuable player. He was a first ballot election to baseball's Hall of Fame and a Medal of Freedom recipient from President Obama, who said today that Banks was famous not just for his exploits on the field, but for his optimism and his love of the game.
Come on. I can't keep up with you. Come on.
Those qualities were on display when we interviewed the 83-year-old Mr. Cub last April on the occasion of Wrigley Field's 100th birthday.
Do you think there'll be a 200th birthday of Wrigley Field? Yeah. Wrigley Field is the friendly confines that'll be here forever. It's the friendly confines, and it will be here forever.
Well, it was Banks who surely put the friendly in the friendly confines.
The Cubs are on their way. Hey, hey, hey!
His irrepressible personality, his let's play two attitude helped carry the Cubs through decades of disappointment during and after his playing days. He experienced only 6 winning seasons in his career and never made it to the postseason, much less the World Series. These were the Cubs, after all, but losing never got him down. The impression is indelible. Banks is at the plate, working the grip on his bat and waiting for the next pitch from some luckless opponent.
Fires away.
And then off goes the ball, bound for the bleachers, and the cheers to come. Cheers that never stopped as long as he lived.
Number 500!
So this is a wonderful place, and I love it. I love being here.
Let's play two, Ernie. Let's play two. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Chicago.
And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. Later on CBS, 48 Hours. For now, I'm Jim Axelrod in New York, and for all of us here at CBS News, thanks for joining us, and good night.
We got an online car approval hoodwink in progress.
Ew, I hate hoodwinkers. No!
What?
I guess I could have just knocked on your door.
But it said they would approve me, even with my credit.
Another internet lie. Only Drive Time gives you a real online approval.
With a guaranteed price.
Is that safe?
I don't know.
Why are we laughing?
Save yourself. Get a real online approval first. Go to drivetime.com.
WIAT 42 News is coverage you can count on. When this controversial billboard went up, local neighbors and families wanted answers.
They really feel that somehow this is going to bring hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people into their camps.
So WIAT 42 News investigated, uncovering who was behind the bizarre message. Plus, a growing sex scandal involving an Alabama court and dozens of women. We asked the tough questions, working to uncover what really happened. WIAT 42 News, it's coverage you can count on. Sherry Jackson, WIAT 42 News, coverage you can. Live from WIAT 42 News, with coverage you can count on. Here's what's happening right now.
To begin tonight with breaking news, 5 people are dead after a horrific accident on Highway 22. Good evening, I am Natalie T Sat. The accident happened this afternoon in Chilton County. WIAT 42 News reporter Nick Goulas is live on Highway 22 just outside of Clanton with details.
Yeah, I'm standing on State Road 22 here in Chilton County. We're actually about 3 miles from the scene of this accident. I'll let my photographer James Hawk pan over here and show you what action we have going on here. This is actually a blockade that we have here set up by ALDOT to prevent people from going further down State Road 22. Now, this accident happened around 1:30 this afternoon. That's when the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency got a phone call of an accident along State Road 22 East here along this road. It's actually about a block up from County Road 516, Chilton County Road 516. The accident, I just got back from the scene about 15-20 minutes ago. There was one truck that state troopers say could cross over the lane and hit another SUV head on. The truck actually caught fire, and all 5 people involved in the accident, 4 of which were in the truck, died at the scene. Workers are still trying to clear the accident, trying to open up State Road 22. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency tells me that they are close to doing that, and it should be open within the next hour or so. For now, live in Chilton County, Nick Goulas, WIAT 42 News, coverage you can count on.
And of course, we will continue to follow that story throughout the newscast. In a late-breaking decision, Alabama became one of the first southern states to overturn the ban on same-sex marriage yesterday afternoon. This after a federal court judge ruled our state's laws prohibiting it were unconstitutional. For the past year, Mobile federal court judge Jenny Jernad has been hearing arguments regarding the validity of a marriage between 2 women who were trying to adopt their son. Now, the couple legally wed in California, but were going through the adoption process here in Alabama. In her ruling yesterday, Grenade said our state's ban on same-sex marriage went against the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. Many gay rights supporters were pleased at the ruling.
This is about 2 people, our neighbors, that have and care dearly for a son. They have fought to have both have parental rights over this young man, and these women have been brave and have brought this forward.
In Alabama, we have suffered much discrimination, and I just rejoice tonight for all the loving couples who made a decision to make a life commitment to each other, that finally their marriages are recognized.
However, despite this small victory for gay rights advocates, there are still several same-sex marriage cases pending here in the state of Alabama. All this as the U.S. Supreme Court prepares to tackle this very same issue in the spring as well. However, the state of Alabama isn't giving up the fight just yet. The Alabama Attorney General Luther Strange has already begun to appeal the judge's ruling. His office sent out a statement yesterday. It says, "We are disappointed and are reviewing the federal district court's decision. We expect to ask for a stay of court's judgment pending the outcome of the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling, which will ultimately decide this case." And then hours later, they did in fact file that stay of judgment. Governor Bentley is also not pleased with the judge's decision either. His office weighed in via a statement sent shortly after the decision was announced. It says, quote, "The people of Alabama voted in a constitutional amendment to define marriage between a man and a woman. The governor is disappointed with the ruling, and we will review the decision to decide the next steps." Currently, there are 2 laws that ban same-sex marriage in Alabama, a state statute and a constitutional amendment called the Alabama Sanctity of Marriage Amendment that was approved back in 2006. This story will definitely continue to develop throughout the remainder of the month. You can go to our website, WIAT.com, for a look at our coverage and for continuous updates.
And it's hard to believe that we had some flurries earlier this morning, isn't it? We had some snow in North Alabama, then we recovered pretty nicely with that great old sunshine out there. Here's a look at our first forecast. By 7:39 degrees and dry. Chilly at 10 o'clock, 37 degrees. And as you wake up early in the morning, 34 degrees. It will be cold. We'll have some sunshine as you head into church in the morning, but we got some changes coming for the Sunday forecast late in the day. But right now it's 39 degrees in Coleman, 43 here in Birmingham, 44 Tuscaloosa, 40 in Anniston and Gadsden. Look at all the traffic out there in downtown Birmingham. This is our BJCC camera looking west. It's 43 degrees, west wind at 5. It feels like 40. We got your full forecast in minutes.
Thank you, Ted. From police officers to citizens over the past few months, the message from several protests around our nation has started to come clear that all lives matter. And today in downtown Birmingham, it was no different.
Pray that the end of our stress-filled day, we'll get back home alive.
Today, nearly a dozen men and women turned out to support the All Lives Matter movement. Several were retired or friends and family of law enforcement. Many said this was not in place of the Black Lives Matter movement, but rather to remind everyone that no matter your race or profession, all lives, including those of police officers, matter.
I just support our local law enforcement and state. I just believe that they've got a tough job, and we need to show more support.
Organizers in the All Lives Matter movement have another event scheduled for February 8th in Huntsville. Many of Tuscaloosa County's leaders met with community members this morning with one goal in mind. That goal is to unite our state to be, quote, one Alabama. Tuscaloosa community leaders from the police department, churches, and political offices gathered for the, quote, One Alabama conference. The panel of leaders discussed things like how people should respond to police and how to bring divided societies together. 10-4 Corporation hosted the event and plans to have many more in other Alabama communities. 7 elementary school students rushed to Children's of Alabama yesterday afternoon are all at home recovering tonight. They were hurt when their school bus overturned in Pinson. It's the second crash in 2 days for our state. 52 children from Johnson Elementary School were on board that bus when it flipped while stopped along Rudd School Road. The uninjured students were taken to Rudd Middle School to wait for their parents. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says the bus pulled off to the side of the road and the wet ground caused the bus to slide off into the ditch. The day before, several students were injured after a similar crash in Clanton. Witnesses, police, and firefighters were able to pick up the bus to free trapped students. They also pulled them out of emergency hatches and even out of the front windshield. Students were either taken to Shelby Baptist Medical Center in Alabaster or Children's of Alabama in Birmingham. Good news is all of the children have been released from the hospital. Well, still ahead, we're learning big news from just a few days ago, but now that the excitement is over, the announcement has passed. What's next for Birmingham's plan for the World Games? And we're following breaking news in Chilton County tonight. We'll have details from a deadly 2-vehicle accident that's left at least 5 people dead. Our Nick Goulis is live on the scene. He'll have another report straight ahead. You're watching WIAT 42 News at 6 with coverage you can count on.
Breaking news that matters to you live as it's happening.
Bringing you important news from where you live.
Asking the tough questions to get you answers.
It's coverage you can count on. WIAT 42 News.
Man, have I got me a craving for a Zaxby's boneless wings meal.
Oh, yeah, but how are you going to decide which sauce to have them tossed in?
It's time to apply my scientific method. What they hit?
Spicy honey barbecue.
Hey, that's what I wanted. Let's go get one before the boss comes back.
We gone.
The boneless wings meal with new spicy honey barbecue sauce. Served with celery ranch crinkle fries and a small drink. Upgrade your meal deal to a medium souvenir chicken floss cup. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
This week at Mattress King, get a free HD TV with purchase of select mattress sets, including Sealy Pillow Top Queen sets with gel foam. On sale now for just $4.99. Go to mattressking.net for store locations and hours.
Independent pharmacies all across America and right here in Central Alabama have joined together to become Health Mart pharmacies. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and therefore have a personal commitment to their communities. There's nothing more important than your family's health. Health Mart pharmacists take the time to get to know you, explain your medication, and answer your questions. With over 100 Health Mart pharmacies in Central Alabama, you can be sure there's one in your community. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
16 million children in America live in poverty. Most are without proper beds and rarely get the quality sleep they need. That's why Ashley Furniture Home Store donates a portion of every mattress purchase to our Hope to Dream program. Learn how you can help at your local Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Life changes. A small business's life is no different. That's why we designed the Constant Contact Toolkit to evolve with your business, month to month, year to year. So whether it's a social media campaign to connect with fans and customers, or an email newsletter to kick off a big sale, you'll get all the online tools and free marketing advice you need to meet your goals, no matter how much things change. Help your small business do more business. Try our toolkit free at ConstantContact.com.
Music's biggest night, the Grammys, February 8th on WIAT 42.
Birmingham scoring the 2021 World Games is over. The next question many people are asking is, can the Magic City really pull this event off? Well, the answer may be yes, especially if you ask the CEO of the Bruno event team, Gene Hallman. Hallman says the first step is finding corporate sponsors to help raise the $75 million needed for the World Games. He predicts that many large companies will want to sponsor this massive event.
I'm very confident that there is the ability to cover all the expenses of these games
and in turn provide a huge economic benefit to our retail sector of our economy.
But just because the sponsors are there doesn't mean the work is done for Birmingham. Hallman also says a lot of work is needed to make sure the city and its sports venues are ready for 2021. Mayor William Bell tells us that the planning process began the day the announcement was made. WIT 42 will follow all the developments surrounding the World Games from start to